Autumn. The season of mists and mellow fruitfulness is upon us. That's Chesterless Street across the valley. The river Weir runs unseen between us. And more obtrusively, the A1. But this is what we're here to look at. The site of the Virgin's Well. On old maps there seems to be a structure of some kind, and the site was accessed via 2 tracks, which were substantial enough to be marked on Ordnance Survey maps. Presumably it was named for Saint Mary the Virgin, making it a holy well. But it doesn't seem to have any recorded history. Was there a chapel nearby, like the St. Mary's Well of Jesmond? And like Jesmond, was it a place of pilgrimage? No one seems to know. It's history, without any history. If you see what I mean. But actually that's not the reason we're out and about today. Hottengate. Not a village, hardly a hamlet really. Just a terrace, although at one time there were more houses here, and an inn. Short-lived coal mines were sunk in the vicinity. This is Forge Lane, a memory of another long-gone industry. The A1, the Great North Road, 397 miles long, connecting Edinburgh with London. Although strictly speaking, this section is the A1M. Here the road drops down through a hairpin bend, which is pretty scary for a pedestrian. Luckily, we have an alternative route. The bridge carries the A1M over the valley. During the late 18th and early 19th century, this secluded little spot was a hive of industrial activity, including the forge referred to in the road name. And under the A1, the Lumley Park Burn flows towards its confluence with the River Weir. But we will be following the burn in the other direction. There's certainly plenty of water in the burn. I think its sources lie as far away as Heckmle Hole and the lake in Harrington Country Park. So it must have quite a large catchment area. A heron, perched in a tree. There goes that heron. I think the burn is probably the borderline between Bournemore on the far bank and Fencehouses. Today is September the 3rd. 46 years ago on this day, and not very far from where I'm currently standing, something remarkable happened. Do you know what it was? While you think about it, I'll drop a couple of hints. Somewhere up here, on the 3rd of September 1976, two local women had a close encounter of the third kind. Neither woman sought publicity, and perhaps as a result it's not well known outside of UFO circles. I've mentioned it to a number of people from Fencehouses, and none of them had ever heard of it. At about 9 p.m. they were returning from a visit, so it'd have been twilight. They took a shortcut across ground that was once a coal mine. They were coming down towards the Floaters Mill pub, across the road, when they saw a strange object on a mound of earth. It was quite small, 5 foot long and 3 or 3.5 feet high, and roughly oval in shape, with a large glass-like compartment in the center and a bright orange dome on top. It was resting on sledge-like runners, which appeared to be made of chrome or steel. One of the women was able to run her hand along the object. It was smooth, glass-like, and felt warm. Suddenly, two entities appeared by the side of the object. They were about 1 foot high, humanoid, with long white hair parted down the middle. They had large eyes and claw-like fingers. Rather endearingly, they seemed to be frightened by the sight of the two women, covering their faces with their hands. At this point the story becomes confused. The women became disorientated, especially as to the passing of time. It's possible that they lost about half an hour. Their watches had stopped, although they worked normally afterwards. The object was seen to take off at great speed, making a humming noise. Both witnesses were quite shaken by the experience and, so far as I know, have always remained anonymous. The two entities also appear to have been frightened by what happened, and I don't think they've ever been seen again. As I said earlier, no one I've spoken to had even heard of the event. One woman I talked to expressed total amazement. Not that it happened, but because she couldn't understand why aliens, with presumably the whole universe to pick from, should choose to visit Fencehouses. After nearly half a century, the landscape must have changed dramatically, reclaimed from coal mining and rubbish tipping. But somewhere around here, something remarkable happened on that evening, 46 years ago today. Coming back to the present, we can follow the Lumley Park Burn a little further. The path along the burn continues across the road from where we left it. I've never been along this section before. Well, we seem to have looped round to just a little way from where we started. We're looking across the valley of the Lumley Park Burn, with Bournemore on the other side. And this is where we'll end the video. Hope you enjoyed the trip.